amazing thing about the biennial is that the whole art world kind of focuses on this ancient, beautiful city. This incredibly poetic city, and all of its really eccentric little nooks and crannies become a playing ground for artists. And it's fascinating to see what problems other artists are solving and what curiosities they're pursuing that sometimes feel very similar to the curiosities you're pursuing. It looks like a painted city. It doesn't really feel like you're in the space. It always kind of feels like you're looking at something. It's a big illusion, the whole city. It's very mysterious.
I want to crawl through there. Probably can't. I'm gonna crawl under it like a basement. Touch it. Feels a little like we're entering a bathhouse or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of the water.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Can we go up?
Ahead.
Yeah?
Go ahead.
Okay. I couldn't tell exactly where I'm allowed to go and what was built and what was new and what was your kind of muscling through this certain door, or knocking a level out or something. And I understand that those are not found. You've made the floor with some material that I haven't been able to decode yet.
It's a concrete tile. It's pretty much an entirely handmade process from beginning to end. The building itself is very interesting. It's kind of like a ruin. It's like a shell of a function that no longer is in it.
It was interesting to see how sometimes the space would generate an idea for somebody.
It really hovers.
When you feel like you understand something cognitively, but it's also extremely mysterious and doesn't add up, that's when the work is more interesting for me. And I'm also really interested in the relationship between illusion and reality. In Venice, I was showing 3 bronzes. They're what I call my blind busts. The head part, every time I would touch the clay, I'd either be blindfolded or it would be in a container.
Yeah.
I think I tend to destabilize my sculptures, or to not give them such a comfortable resting point, disappearing something that is supposed to be the point of rest. And so being in Venice and representing Iceland, I guess it's a daunting thing to have one person that represents an entire country.
The Biennale is a historical construct. You know, the period of the World Fairs and, you know, where these large expositions were put on, where nations sort of sent their delegates together to show. And in contemporary art today, we have moved to another place. Rather than art illustrating the identity, I think identity is created through the artistic expression.
How does it feel representing a full country of people? Do you feel like you're the average median?
Yeah, well, that was the starting point.
Jane.
I think you think much more about where you're from when you don't live where you were born and where you grew up. So I think a lot about that, and especially when you then get this assignment, or whatever you call it, to represent your country where you don't even live.
Sometimes I'll think that I have nothing in common ostensibly with someone's work, and then talking to them I feel like we're just doing the same things but using slightly different media. Jesper made a total installation of his pavilion, and that was an incredible little maze walking through those rooms and getting a little bit disoriented in his dark spaces.
Architecture is a part of your work, I think, generally, no? It's a big part.
It's a starting point.
Yeah,
yeah, the social conventions of space, and then also like cinematic conventions of space, and also quite often use the architecture as a mediator between characters that makes them connect somehow.
And the sound is going to flood in from every room, and it kind of leaks in everywhere.
Yeah.
So many artists took advantage of the incredible architecture that was available for really interesting site-specific installations that were inspired directly by the spaces. I thought Sarah Z's presentation was amazing. The work was ambitious and smart. Mark Manders also was very mindful of the space, but he's very methodical and kind of maps everything out. He's brilliant.
The work is intensely curious to me.
These pieces of wood are fake wood. Also, is wood inside?
It's not even a real painting?
No, it's like and this like fake newspapers.
Can we see what's in the other room over there?
Yeah, sure.
On the other side?
Yeah.
Aww. I thought this was clay right away, and then that's when I realized it might not be clay.
This is bronze.
Yeah.
When I talk to other artists and look at their process and even their life, it's just nice to get out of your own head.
This work has maybe a strange title because it's called Mind Study. I think it's interesting to study the mind of the person who made this. But
Well, that's why we're here.
You see so many decisions and it's really like now frozen in time. When I was around 17, somebody showed me late paintings of Picasso, and then I became really fascinated by the way that you could look back in time and you could see all his decisions. That really fascinated me. Not really the painting itself, but that you could look back in time.
Buildup of this sound is so intense, and suddenly it turns off.
Right.
Where does the sound come from?
It's my performance, breathing and humming sound.
This environment, which feels a little bit like a waiting station where you absorb as much light and color and people until you go in by yourself, and then you kind of don't know where it goes.
When I was walking only with a flashlight in downtown during the Hurricane Sandy, I really wanted to have people experience that absolute darkness and absolute soundlessness.
It was fear-inducing a little bit, but it was also exhilarating. Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, I want to stay there. Thank you.
I was thinking about the relationship of our bodies to the object. I felt like I was allowed to look inside, of course, because it was an artwork, but I felt like I was exploiting something as well.
I think you're very sensitive on that. I think that gives you a sense you have a little bit more power than the people inside, because you're kind of looking down, or you're kind of separated from the condition. After it was released, there's so much request to know what's going on about this secret detention. So I memorized every detail because there's so much time in there and nothing to do, just sitting there, watched by these two guards.
I'm sure it was unnerving and humiliating at times.
They don't know my name, and they cannot ask anything.
Wow.
They cannot talk to me except to give me orders. In the room, there are 3 civilian cameras. When they are not in front of the cameras, quite a few of them whisper to me. In some cases where I taking shower.
What did they talk to you about?
They talk about their family, where they come from. You know, there could be my son's age.
Right.
They are only 19, 20 years old.
How did you feel hearing about their personal lives?
I think they are really in very poor condition. Since they become army soldiers, never left this building because they are secretly taken to the building. And after 3 years, they will be taken back to this village.
So they almost know as little as you.
They are prisoners themselves.
Experiencing how other people are investigating their world, it kind of piques my curiosities again, or kind of replenishes them. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was nice to meet you. I'm really excited to get back to work. I've been gone for a long time. I did some other traveling, so I took thousands of pictures. I don't have like a focused target or anything. I just have a lot of ambient colors and sounds and shapes. I don't want it to settle. I'm ready. I think my travels my time in Venice will make some cameos in my work, so stay tuned. I want to ask you one more question. It's a very hard one, but I've asked the other artists I've spoken to. What's your favorite gelato flavor?
Oh, I'm the most boring person. I like vanilla taste.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So when I just arrived in the United States, I would buy a whole box of ice cream, which always have 3 flavors: vanilla and strawberry and chocolate. Yeah, I always finish the vanilla first.
What's your favorite gelato flavor?
Gelato flavor? What is the answer of that question?
I don't think I've had gelato since I've been here.
We have to fix that.
Pistachio?
Pistachio's good.
Because I have a friend who's actually the best ice cream maker in the world, but he's in Copenhagen.
Gosh. Do you have a favorite flavor of gelato?
I don't know.